Some of my best employees would be people that just need another chance. Someone that probably couldn't get a job. They'd had a record. They had baby daddy trauma. And I want to be that place where a girl can get a second chance. I did TV sales for years. Loved the money. But there came to be a part of me that felt like I was selling out every day. And I started to think, well, if you could do anything in the world, what would it be? You love cleaning your own house, why don't you start cleaning house? But in doing so, I'm still me, and so that meant that I had to be a domestic diva. And it's up to the diva standard. That's how it started. I started using TurboTax when I moved in this house 11 years ago. Because I was using TurboTax when I started my business, I was like, oh, get QuickBooks. That's the one that I use pretty much daily. They make me look bigger than what I am. My invoices are pretty with my little leave the dust to us. We're gonna go pass them out. And so, yes, there have been times, well, you can go get a job. I don't really want to go get a job. There are girls out there that really kind of need what I have to offer, which sometimes is wisdom and motherly advice. It's almost like a ministry to me, because the money will come. There are girls that need to know that you can do better in life. You can make a change. You don't have to keep going down the wrong road. You can start over. And I like to be the place where they can get a chance to do over here with me at Domestic Divas.
Wow. That's why we get up and get out of bed every morning at Intuit. For people like Nikki Bell, 50 million customers just like her we already serve, and hundreds of millions around the globe that we have the opportunity to impact their lives. Good morning, everybody. I want to welcome you to Intuit's Fiscal Year 18 Investor Day. As Kim said, we have a pretty full agenda in store for you, and I hope you're going to find what we have to share with you useful and informative. Fiscal Year 17 was a milestone year for Intuit. It was a milestone year because not only were we able to deliver strong results in fiscal year 17, but we delivered those results while simultaneously executing a future back exercise. And that exercise led to the most comprehensive set of market and customer insights that our company has ever collected at any one point in time. The goal that we have today is to put our fiscal year 17 results into context, as well as our multi-year change journey. Then from there, I want to share with you what we see on the horizon, and then I'm going to walk you through our company game plan, which has been refreshed, from rewriting our company mission all the way down to the metrics that we're using to measure success. So this is going to be a hopefully informative and new and fresh conversation today. And to get us started, I want to begin by first looking back. They say those that fail to study history are doomed to repeat it. And this time last year, I was flying on an airplane reading a Fortune magazine, and I came across an article that stopped me dead in my tracks. Why? Because of the opening sentence. I figured it could be a career-limiting move if I didn't read this article. Why isn't Intuit dead? The author went on to say the answer is easy to state but hard to emulate. His hypothesis, because Intuit continually disrupts itself. He went on to describe only a handful of incumbents have been able to successfully do this time and time again. Companies like Amazon, Netflix, and yes, Intuit. And he said we share three patterns. First of all, we view our businesses the way a disruptor would view it. Second, we have the courage to drive change even when the company is performing well. And third, we rinse and repeat. We do it time and time again. Now, he concluded this article by saying that Peter Drucker once said that leaders who are unable to abandon yesterday will never be able to create tomorrow. Well, that's exactly what the generations who've come before us here at Intuit have done. 34 years, 4 chapters, through every major technology shift, every competitive threat, the generations before us have had the courage to reinvent the company and to find the next chapter of great. And when you unpack how Intuit's formula has played out, it also has 3 parts. First of all, we fall in love with the customer problem, not our solution. We went from DOS to Windows to the web to the cloud to mobile to artificial intelligence. We're always willing to adapt and evolve. The second, the effort we put into our products are always grounded in three things: deep customer empathy, simple, elegant design, and the most contemporary technology of the day. But perhaps what's most important is we measure success in the only way that matters, through the improvement in the customer's life. So if you had to sum up the Intuit way, it is three things: customer obsession, design-inspired, technology-powered. Our most recent reinvention began 5 years ago in fiscal year 12. That's when we set out to move the company from a North American desktop software company to a global cloud-driven product and platform company. We divested businesses that no longer fit strategically. We leaned into the cloud, and we shifted our accounting to a ratable revenue model. And over the last 5 years, we have found a new gear. We've accelerated our customers who are moving into the cloud while retaining a very important, loyal, and profitable customer base on desktop. We have accelerated the sources of revenue from 63% coming from connected services and subscriptions to 73%, up 10 points over this 5-year period. We have accelerated our global footprint, growing over 100% compounded annually over this 5-year period. And it's the combination of these things, we were changing the engine while the plane was flying, that culminated in a strong fiscal year 17, where we delivered strong 10% growth on the top line, 12% growth in non-GAAP, or excuse me, I say on non-GAAP, I'm sorry, what? Hey, operating income up 12%, non-GAAP earnings per share up 17%. Perhaps what's most important is we also accelerated our quality of our customer experiences, which showed up in customer growth continuing to increase. QBO subs achieved 58% growth last year, up from 41% the prior year. So it was a strong fiscal year 17 when you look at the financials, but this is Intuit. You've come to expect. We also look underneath the hood and say, where are we doing well, and where do we have an opportunity to improve? And there are two sides to these 6 key drivers, and I'm going to walk you through each of them. And let me begin first with our company culture. I'm proud to say every day is like a startup day at Intuit. We're a 34-year-old startup with 8,000 employees who operate as entrepreneurs, and each one of them every day wake up with a way to try to improve the customer's life. For 16 consecutive years, we've been listed as one of the top 100 best places to work. One of only 2 technology companies to be on the list for 16 consecutive years. On the other side, our employees would tell you we're not moving fast enough. We have to do more to invest in the tools and the technology so they can be productive and make faster decisions. When we talk about customer passion, we have it. You saw that video. You're going to see 4 more videos today. We've done thousands of hours of Follow Me Homes. We do it all the time. Yet we haven't translated that passion into product experiences that have at least a 10-point advantage in Net Promoter over all the alternatives in the market. That's the goal we hold for ourselves. Third, we have made this shift from a product to a platform company, and you're going to see we're creating these indispensable connections, in particular between accountants and the clients they serve. But on the other side, not all the members of our ecosystem are getting the same benefits. A great example is third-party software developers. And we haven't yet unlocked that network effect that we feel will really be the catalyst for growth as we look ahead. Technology, we are a 34-year-old company, which means sometimes our technology is yesterday's technology, and in other cases we know we need to invest in tomorrow's technology. Our team is tackling that tech debt with vengeance. On the other side of the equation, it's going to be a multi-year journey to re-platform our core products, to get our products into AWS, the public cloud, and to continue to invest in artificial intelligence and machine learning. Market results last year, really strong year in small business. Net Promoter improved 22 points. We accelerated the QBO subscriber growth. And we had strong financial results. And I will say on the tax side of the equation, in an incredibly volatile and complicated year, our team delivered very strong financial results, but our customer growth was tepid, and we held share. That's not a year to be embarrassed of, but we believe we're capable of more, and we're going to lean in and deliver those kinds of results as we look ahead. Financially, I've already touched on the numbers, But as we look ahead, as you might imagine, with a completely refreshed company game plan, from a new company mission all the way through our strategy, that means we have to reallocate our resources, our time, our people, and our dollars. Over the last 4 months, we've been doing just that, and Neil will talk more about where we're putting our resources when he speaks a little bit later. So fiscal year 17 was a strong year. Yes, we do have work ahead of us. But the one thing that I've come to appreciate about this company is when we put something on the right-hand side of this chart, we focus on it and we move it to the left. And yes, we always find something else to put on the right. But it gives us a strong foundation as we look ahead. And we need that foundation because as we look out over the horizon, we see secular shifts in the marketplace that we believe will serve as catalysts for growth if we capitalize on them. And so this year, we took our top 100 leaders, we broke them down into 3-person teams. They fanned out around the globe, conducted over 500 direct customer observations. They interviewed 225 experts, venture capitalists, companies we admire. They ran 100 experiments. And what we got back on these themes were some incredibly important insights. I'll summarize the insights very quickly on the left-hand side of this slide. First of all, customer expectations are increasing daily. They want immediate benefit with no friction, deeply personalized experiences. The second is the gig economy is real, and it's not a U.S. phenomenon. It's happening around the globe. And net, they are worried every day about where the next job will come and where the next dollar will come. Last but not least, all of our customers are living more and more of their life on fewer and fewer platforms. These platforms Mark Andreessen refers to as mega cities or mega platforms. They're spending as much as 8 to 10 hours a day on these platforms. The second major insight is the employees of the future want to be a part of a mission-driven company surrounded by rock stars, and they want to have immediate impact, which means they want to operate like a startup, which requires us to change how we create our company environment. Speed as a habit has become one of our top themes. The second is we've got to lean into the technology they want to work on. And today that is data, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. And they also want to not only work on cool technology, they want to create disruptive business models that will create new sources of growth. So those are the insights we got as we went around the globe. That led to these implications. First, we're going to remain customer passionate, but we're going to up it to customer obsession. In customer obsession, we're going to be really clear that the only things we build into our products are things that matter to customers, which is the benefit, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. We're really leaning into creating deeply personalized experiences, and we're moving beyond being just a product that drives a transaction into a platform that facilitates interactions, or what we call indispensable connections. The second thing we have to do is we have to adapt to the evolving role of the players in our ecosystem. We're upping our focus on self-employed. We're working with our accountant partners as artificial intelligence and machine learning starts to replace a lot of the work they used to do to help them define the new things they can do for clients. And third, we're leaning into strong partnerships with these mega platforms where our customers are spending 8 to 10 hours a day. And last but not least, we realize while we have competitive moats that have served us well in the past, we've got to forge new competitive moats, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So if you pull all this together, we expected new insights, but I profoundly underestimated the impact those insights were going to have on our company's game plan. And the end result is it led to a fundamental rethink of everything. And once again, we've organized this information in a best practice model known as an alignment triangle. So every employee in our company and you can see what we're solving for all the way down to how we'll measure success. What I want to do now is I want to walk you through what has changed in our company's game plan, and this will set the context for the rest of today's speakers. I'll start with our company mission. A mission is why you exist. Our company mission began 34 years ago at a small kitchen table sitting out there in the hallway. But what you may not know is the company mission we've been operating behind the last decade is not the one Scott started the company with. In fact, our mission has evolved 4 times over 34 years. As we looked out over the horizon with these new insights, we said we have a real opportunity to create an impact in the world like we've never had before. We need a mission statement that represents that opportunity. So we studied the best mission statements out there. We Googled them, we talked to people, and they had two characteristics. They're aspirational and they're succinct. Our prior mission statement was to improve our customers' financial lives so profoundly they couldn't imagine going back to the old way. It was aspirational, but it was anything but succinct. 16 words and a comma. So we said, we've got a new mission statement, and this is the company's mission statement: powering prosperity around the world. Prosperity was chosen for a reason. If you look up the definition, it describes the state of flourishing, thriving, good fortune. It is a personal definition. You heard Nikki Bell in that video describe what prosperity means to her. You're going to hear 5 other definitions when you see 5 other videos. It also defines an end state, but most importantly, it describes why we get out of bed every morning. To champion those who dare to dream, small businesses and self-employed, who know the odds are stacked against them, and yet 1/2 of the world's population works in a small business. And on the other side, the individuals and families who struggle to make it paycheck to paycheck. And if we can help them live better lives and help these small businesses and self-employed succeed, we will power prosperity around the world. So this is our company's mission. In support of that mission, we also have a purpose-driven culture, a culture rooted in values. Like our mission statement, our values have been refreshed 4 times in 34 years. The most recent update was in 2014. We tested these values against our future vision, and they stand the test of time. So there is no change to the values I shared with you last year. Then you get to, how do you measure success? Every company has a way of measuring success. At Intuit, we have a term we call TrueNorth. It is grounded in 2 principles: stewardship and stakeholders. Stewardship is the accountability we have for short and long. Said another way, delivering the best results we can in this current 12-month period while making the decisions today that leaves the company stronger for the generation who will follow us. And stakeholders are being clear about who we serve and who we won't serve. We serve employees, customers and partners and shareholders, and we have a clear definition of success underneath each of those labels. And we also have a set of metrics we use to measure our progress. Now, I will tell you there's an internal version of this document that under each of these metrics has a 1, 2, and 3-year goal. And those are more than aspirations, they're commitments. And when I say commitment, that means that's how the board assesses my performance, hitting 1, 2, and 3 years. And that is how every employee in the company is assessed as well. It's not a 12-month goal, it's a 3-year goal. So that's how we measure success. Now, if you have a way to measure success, you got to have a way to deliver those results. And that's where our strategy comes in. And a strategy, as you know, is like a GPS or like a roadmap. Now, a GPS has 3 pieces to it. The first is you got to know where you're going, and we've got our destination. It's a refreshed mission, and that mission is powering prosperity around the world. The second thing a GPS does is it says, okay, where are you starting from? And this is an Intuit mindset, 1 customer at a time. We've gotten really clear what matters to our customers when making the decision to choose our products. All of our products do 3 things. They put more money in your pocket with little to no work, and hopefully give you complete confidence you got the maximum money and you didn't make any mistakes in the process. So that is our destination and our point of origin. The third thing is, okay, how are you going to get from here to there? And that's where the strategy comes in. It's a 1 Intuit ecosystem. The definition of this strategy is unlocking the power of many for the prosperity of one. The platform is stronger together than its individual pieces. You're going to hear more about this today. Now, to lay our strategy out, we looked back over the last 34 years and we brought those things forward that will continue to be elements in our go-forward plan. Customer-obsessed, design-inspired, technology-powered. And we got really clear where we're going to put all of our innovation energy in finance and compliance. Now, you all followed us for many years. Many people would say, we must be crazy. Who gets excited about waking up in the morning and talking about taxes, or payroll, or paying a bill, or overdraft fees? But we understand our customers have to get these things done. These are required but not desired. And so if we can do our job, we can help them get more money in their pocket with no work at all thinking about these things and have complete confidence they got it right. And that will help power prosperity. Now we're clear about who we serve. We serve the small business, the self-employed, and the consumer. These are the overlooked. These are the underserved. These are the customers that many companies choose to look past because they pay you nothing or maybe $10 a month. They're not worth tens of thousands of dollars in contracts, but they power the world's economy. And we understand as a platform company now, we can't solve all of their problems alone. So our partners now sit at the table with us. And we're talking about explicitly having a mindset that our partners get as much or more value than we do. Last but not least is, with the combination of all of these contributions and the data they create, and we match it up with our machine learning, our algorithms, and our easy, elegant design, our strategy delivers three components: personalized experiences through a trusted open platform where everything works together, whether we built it or somebody else, and it creates indispensable connections. These themes are going to play out time and time again today as we walk through the material. That's our strategy, a one Intuit ecosystem that unlocks the power of many for the prosperity of every individual customer. Now, like every company, we take our strategy, we break it down into priorities. These are the 6 priorities we focus on inside the company. These are going to be the major talking points you're going to hear throughout the day. And underneath those priorities, we have a set of metrics, and these are the metrics we review in every one of my staff meetings, all of our operating reviews, and all of our board meetings that we update the board. But when you pull it all together, we have refreshed our company's game plan to win from a completely new mission statement to a new strategy to a new set of metrics. And what encourages me is if you believe Thomas Edison, which is a vision without execution is merely hallucination, then I'm pleased to tell you that this strategy is already working and being executed. And it's delivering 3 things. And I'm going to close out on these 3 things to let you see that this is not a standing start, but it's actually building on continuing momentum. The first thing our strategy is doing is it is moving us away from a company that focused on delivering a transaction, get your tax return done, pay your payroll, to now a platform that creates indispensable connections and interactions between multiple parties. Let me give you a few examples. Small businesses. We know the odds are stacked against them. 50% fail in the first 5 years. The number one antidote to preventing that failure is to work with an accountant. It increases their odds of success 89%. But accountants are busy. They're keying all this information in, they're getting it out of shoe boxes, bring it in out of Excel spreadsheets, so they get 4 new clients a year on average. This last year we introduced matchmaking. What happened? These small businesses who now work with an accountant grew 10 points to 53%. Accountants are getting 3 times as many leads as they were just 8 months ago. They're both succeeding as a result. And we benefit because if an accountant is working with a small business, the retention of QBO goes up 12 points. That is a win, win, win. It's not just accountants working with small businesses, it's tax experts working with tax filers. We know there are tens of millions of consumers who are willing to file taxes on their own if it wasn't for that one nagging question where they just don't have enough confidence in themselves. And we have tax experts who would be willing to answer those questions for a nominal fee if it was without friction. Last year we introduced Smart Look, the ability to have human expertise at the touch of a screen. What happened? The confidence of the tax filer went up 10 points. The accountants got a whole new revenue stream. The people willing to consider the do-it-yourself category expanded. And by the way, this is a new value pool for TurboTax. What does that mean? People are paying hundreds of dollars to go to a tax store. They're paying tens of dollars for TurboTax, and with a very small premium, we can still be much cheaper than a tax store and yet increase our revenue per return. Again, a win-win-win. Last but not least, the self-employed. We've talked about the importance of the gig economy. It's 34% of the workforce today. It'll be 43% by the year 2020. It's over half in Europe. The challenge is they operate every day doing their thing, and then the government tells them that they're a small business and they have to file a different tax return. They have no idea. We introduced QuickBooks Self-Employed, and we matched it up with a bundle and TurboTax Self-Employed. Last year, we saved $4,340. That's an 8% increase in their annual income if you're an Uber or Lyft driver. They got an 8% raise by using our product. We have 4 million more of these customers sitting in the TurboTax customer base today as a channel. By the way, the Self-Employed bundle grew 12 points faster than core TurboTax, and it tripled the QuickBooks Self-Employed customer base by simply tapping in to the TurboTax channel. And that was our V1. So if you look at this, the first thing our strategy is doing is it's moving us beyond a product into facilitating interactions where everybody wins and we get value as a result also. Second thing our strategy is doing, creating new competitive moats. Our products have benefited from strong competitive moats in the past. First of all, we're trusted. We're trusted by individual customers, by the government, by banks with very sensitive information, and we take that trust seriously. Second, we've always had relationships like accountants and small businesses that depend on each other, and we've been able to facilitate that. And the third is we've always worked hard to make complicated things simple. That's not easy to do, to take the IRS tax code and turn it into yes/no questions that ultimately get answered by somebody at home. These things will continue to be important, but they won't be sufficient going forward. But our strategy has already started to unlock 3 new competitive moats that are not easily copied by competitors. First of all, we're building increased stickiness or loyalty on our platform. Neil's going to walk you through something that we haven't shared before. The percent of revenue we get from existing customers who were with us last year. I think you'll be surprised to see, especially when we think about tax season, it's a redo every year, just how much of our revenue is built into our base because of the loyalty we've created in our customer base. But now by opening up into a platform, we're increasing the retention by having an accountant to work with a small business, having them add a third-party software product, that increases retention even further. So we're getting more sticky. The second is we have all that data. We're now matching it with machine learning, artificial intelligence. On the last earnings call, I shared with you we had filed 100 patents and we had 30 machine learning applications in the market. As we stand here today, just 6 weeks later, we have 150 patents filed. We have 40 in the market. We are moving with real velocity. And last but not least, we are looking to create network effects. Those are those multi-sided problems I talked about. But here's the difference. Many companies have a relationship with one customer. We serve accountants, small businesses, and consumers, all of whom depend on each other for their livelihood. We already have them as customers. And what we're doing now is opening up the freeway so they can all interact and get value. So this is the second thing our strategy is doing. It's creating new competitive moats. Last but not least, it's opening up TAM. 3 levers that are expanding our total addressable market. The first is the cloud and mobile adoption, is increasing the consideration of our categories and accelerating our customer growth. If you look in the upper right, the first column are the number of customers we serve today. The second column are the prospects in the countries we're already in with the products we've already launched. And that's a $30 billion TAM. And so TAMs get really unrealistic, and so we look down underneath that at the proof points. Here are 4 examples, and just 4 examples. First of all, the shift to the cloud's accelerating our customer base. QuickBooks, for many, many years, had 4 million installed customers on the fact sheet. And the question was always, when are you going to grow that? I'm proud to tell you that the number of active customers we had this year grew 14%. That's the number of people buying QBO or the people on the last 3 years version of QuickBooks Desktop. That 14% growth is up from 3% growth last year and up from pretty much flat for a decade before that. 8 out of 10 new customers coming into QuickBooks are choosing the cloud over desktop. It was 50-50 just 2 years ago. Same thing happening in tax. You can see the results. The second is the cloud's allowing us to go into other countries. Last year, our global base grew 75%. That's up from 45% 1 year ago. And it's also allowing us to serve the self-employed. We could have never served the self-employed on desktop because they operate on wheels. They're out on the road, they're in the cloud, they're on mobile devices. But now we've been able to accelerate the growth and almost quadruple the customers over the last 12 months. So the first way we're expanding TAM is by capturing the cloud and mobile and accelerating our categories and our customer base. The second, we're opening up the freeway. We're creating these connections. If you look in the upper right, you'll notice one big number in blue. That's the consumers. Here's the catch. Many times we count consumers as the number of people filing TurboTax and the number of people using Mint. But we forgot all the people that our small businesses pay as employees on their payroll, and all the tax returns our accountants are doing for their tax clients. And when you put all that together, we have over 300 million potential prospects. And we're starting to connect them all. A great example is e-invoicing. Getting small businesses paid in 1/3 the time, and the consumers love it because it's a frictionless touch the phone and they're paid. That increased our e-invoicing and our charge volume 35% last year. The second, algorithms match with the data inside of our products. 50% of the loans we facilitated to small businesses last year were to companies that banks considered unlendable. And our loss rate was below the industry average. The third, Smart Look, I've already talked about that, connecting tax experts with tax filers. What I didn't mention is the customer satisfaction of those using Smart Look is 20 points higher than someone who simply files on their own. And then Dan Warnikoff's going to talk about this last bullet. But we've put a lot of time into creating a small business platform. We're now starting to lean into a consumer platform. Here's a couple of factoids that we've never shared before. When you connect Mint with TurboTax, it increases the conversion to TurboTax in the funnel up to 10 points. The second is the customers interact with TurboTax 2 times a year. They interact with our Mint product 112 times a year. There is a real opportunity for us to build an ongoing relationship and solve other problems for consumers. The third and final piece of our TAM is our opportunity to take our home game on the road. Now, this is one of those things that last year we weren't sure we could stand in front of you and say, could we do this? Because we had not proven to ourselves we have a playbook. This year, I feel like we did prove a playbook. The playbook is simple. Get product market fit first in the local country, then turn on the marketing, and then make sure you're getting an efficient LTV to CAC. Last year in the fall, we said we finally got product market fit in Canada, the UK, and Australia. We turned on marketing, and all 3 countries crossed 100,000 subscribers in this 12-month period. We're now focused on France, Brazil, and India, and we're also testing the self-employed product, which can be downloaded through an app store to see what other countries may be the next targets. So our strategy is not only opening up interactions, creating new competitive moats, but it's expanding our opportunity to serve larger markets and increase our TAM. So I'll put a bow around it, and I'll end where I began. We look back over 34 years. We studied what it was that the generations before us were able to do for Intuit to navigate so much change and remain a vibrant and growing company. And we brought those lessons forward. Then we looked out over the horizon, and we took the lessons from Peter Drucker. We abandoned yesterday. We focused on tomorrow. And we had the courage to rewrite the company's game plan with a new mission, a One Intuit ecosystem strategy, and that is now starting to create interactions, new competitive moats, and new opportunities to serve markets we couldn't serve before. We are confident and excited that we're already seeing the proof points, and what we want to share with you over the next few hours is to dive deeper into each of these areas so you get the same confidence we do, that we have momentum that continues to build. I hope this sets the context for the rest of the day, and with that, we'll roll the next video. Thank you.